Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. Today I'm kind of working on our battle platform. I have parts of an old one and I had to kind of dust this off. This has probably not been touched in say 10 years. I remember picking it up way back when and all that, and it's been sitting there, and I kind of found it and dusted it off so that way it looks halfway presentable. But I had picked this up off of eBay a long time ago, and here it sits. I mean, it was already discolored and everything. It's been sitting down here in my basement. So here we have the original battle platform, the inspiration for what we have here that we're doing out of our Legos. So as I'm trying to make this a little bit better, as you can see, this is actually a very small set, and it was actually drawn that way for the old cartoon. Really, you had like 2 or 3 guys in here. You have computer consoles sitting in here. We had a turret here. We had another one of these sitting over on that spot. So those were our weapons. One was like a machine gun or a cannon, and the other one was a set of missiles. And then we have a crane. So the reason why I brought this out is I did make a crane. So I do have a crane, and I can, it's done with a little bit of Technic. I can raise it, lower it. I do have some string on here. I can actually get it out some. It doesn't work the greatest, but I can actually drop that down and lift that up. Trying to do that so that way I have similar to what we originally had in the old G.I. Joe battle platform. I did add some cannons on here. I'm going to move this back so that way you can see this a little bit better, because this should really take center stage at this point, because after showing you what we have here, so you have that understanding of where we came from and where we're trying to go. And just kind of get this off and set it down here. Okay, so here we are, center stage. I do have a radar dish. I'm just trying to figure out where the best place to really put this would be, and it does have a little computer. So I'm guessing what I'll probably end up doing is just setting it maybe over here for now, if I can keep this all together. And of course, as usual, I'm kind of breaking it apart. That way it looks like we have a radar dish. I don't really want to put it on top here. My fear is if I put it on top, and when I have something land up there, say if I land a Skyhawk, now I don't have room. So that's why I don't really want to put this up there. Maybe I might find a better spot for that. Just kind of working with that. This is still kind of hollow and empty, so that might be like a storage for maybe some ammo or something. On the inside here, and I'm going to swing this around so you can see. I know I'm on the back side, and I'll take this all off too. So as you can see here, I've kind of added a little bit of computer stuff in here. I do have some bunk beds. These are just simple plates that I had sitting there, and some sloped pieces that I had for possibly working on something else. That way I have 4 beds, so for nothing else we can have 4 people rest in a rotation. I have a computer here, and I do have a computer station there. I figured if it's on the bottom, it would be more guarded against the weather. I know that the military does have some sort of computers that are probably sealed or something like that. I just figured that, to ease my mind, if it wasn't sitting somewhere where it just seemed like it was probably going to get overly wet, compared to being up on top and out and about. That might work a little bit better. That's why I put them inside, one inside here and one outside there, but this is still pretty well kind of cased in here. We do have some structural supports sitting here, trying to keep everything in without too much of an issue here. Just trying to figure out how to block all this stuff in so that way I had a lot more pieces, and I want to say I had a whole bunch of grays, like these little 1x2 flat gray plates, but I don't know where they all went. I'm sure I'm going to find them later. But until then, just kind of mixing and matching with whatever I can that makes it work for now. Seeing that I was building different sets for different things, and at this point, seeing that I'm not doing this for work, I'm doing this for us and for our fun. So things are changing a little bit. We're going to have Kelvin part of G.I. Joe. That was the idea with our Monday comic. I know I did the speaking on it. I don't know how well everyone liked it or not. Just trying to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of understanding. I kept going back and forth what I was going to do with Kelvin. For everybody that's been watching Kelvin since I've started doing these, I figured it would be a good way to keep him still relevant and still going. And for those that are just picking up here and there, it still continues on. And we will still have Kelvin be a Butterfingers, and he will still mess things up from time to time. But, we can do a little bit more like a G.I. Joe or something a little bit serious at times, and then other times, probably just a lot of slapstick humor and stuff like that. So that's what I'm kind of looking at right now. That's what my plan is going forward, is we will still do the comics. We'll have them do their fun and exciting and silliness and the antics and all that, but we'll do it with more of like a Star Wars theme and a G.I. Joe theme, just kind of putting things together, and we'll see how things go from there. I think I should probably get like the landing H on here, but I'll have to find some more pieces to do that. Try and get that on there. Like I said, I am kind of tossed up as to where to put my radar dish. Typically you would have your radar dish up high, so maybe what I might do is I might grab, actually, why don't I do that? That is a great idea. Glad I have you guys here to help me with this. We're going to grab this. I have to be gentle because these are 3 separate plates. I do have them bricked together underneath pretty good, but it's still a concern. I need to have more of those yellows. So I think what we're going to do, once I find the yellows here, there they are. We're going to simply make a tower. So I can do this quickly, hopefully. And hopefully I don't mess this up, because I'm looking at how these are done, and this might not work as good as I think, but we will try it. The only thing that worries me is right here I do not have something to lock them together. So trying to do this, and of course then I see I'm doing it incorrectly, so I'm going to want to fix this. That's sitting that way and I want it this way. Okay. Three and 4. So I don't have anything solid underneath there, so I'm trying to get this all in here without it kind of breaking apart. Okay, so we have that, and I'm going to bridge that across. So I've got to find something. See, if I was to put this up here, there's no actual stud there to try and link them together. Let me see. I've got a bunch of spare parts here, so I'm just trying to look at all this and see what I've got while I'm doing this. So I think what we'll do, at least to start with, so I'm going to go right here in the middle. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to take our radar and we're going to set that up here. And then I'm going to keep this with that brick on there. So you think I'm going to do this? So it's up a little bit. Yeah, I think that should work. All right. So I'm going to fit this down here. So if anyone needs to adjust that. And then I found this. So if this is going to be like a fuel depot or something like that, this is a setup that Lego does for their octane fuel. So I'm going to set this right inside here maybe. There we go. So it looks like we have an octane fuel canister there. So that gets us something. Now what I don't have is I do not have a I'll get Dusty up here. I don't have a missile launcher yet. I did make some guns, so I got some guns, and this was kind of a simple little thing here, just making it very as I drop it. It's just a simple brick, but it's actually got those two eyes on the top, and these are just pieces that sat in there. So that's all I really did with that. And then this is what sits. It's one of those round pieces, kind of like this. If I can get that out. It's one of the round pieces like this. That's really all I was using. So at least that gets me something there. And if I needed to, I could rotate this. Just got to lift it up a little bit. I could rotate it so that way if we're seeing that we're under attack somewhere, I can tilt this down or I can tilt it up. Trying to keep it there. So I've got that. Just trying to figure out exactly what else I want to have in here as I'm trying to figure all this out. I really want to get a missile launcher here. And let's see, I was thinking some other parts here. In my mind, when I'm thinking of missile launchers, quite often, as I'm digging through my parts here, I'm kind of thinking of like missile tubes. So for that in mind, I've got a bunch of these, and these are parts I was picking up for other things I was working on. So let's see, trying to figure out how I can work this up. So I've got an idea if I can do somehow. I'm kind of doing this a little off camera here. Okay, so I'm putting these together. I'll get threes, at least to start. And to say maybe they're bigger missiles or something, I don't know. Oops. Looking at the camera, they're all the way down at the bottom. Okay, so I'll put them up here. 1, 2, we got 3 of those. And we got 4. Okay, so now what I need is I need something to put all this together and kind of bridge this a little bit. I got a bunch of small spare parts here. I'm looking at them and I'm not quite finding what I'm trying to look for. Okay. So now I got to think about this. All right. Now I'm going to get, this will be for the back side. 1, 2. All right. So here's the idea. So that's the back side, those are the front side. I've got this piece, so if I can have this sitting somewhere, and then if I can come up with something that'll turn as well as adjust here. And I'm looking through what I've got. I may have to come up with something else. Alright, well, okay. Let me move this over here. Actually, these are the wrong color. If I find a better color, I'll use them. But if I don't, then this is what I'm going to use. So, I'm going to take 2 of these. This may not work as well as I was thinking here. It's like it suddenly hit a syntax error here. Dun 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 dun. Okay. If for nothing else, I'll at least have 2 of them. But I want to get 4. I want to have all 4 of these going. So what I'll show you what I'm trying to do. And I want to have it for 4 of these. And my mind is not quite working this out. So this is what I've got. So I've got that. And if I can get that as a turret, but I want to have 4 of these. You know, or like 4 tubes. So I've essentially got 4 missiles that can launch out. That's the idea. So the question is, what do I have sitting here that I can make that work and keep that whole square idea going? So I'm just trying to look through the parts that I have. Okay. Alright, well, let's try this. Okay, I'm trying to separate that, and I put it together so darn good. It doesn't want to come apart. Oh, buggers. Okay. Now we got it apart. And actually, I think what I could do is I could cheat because it's going to be in the middle, and I could put 1 extra one in the middle here. We're still going to have it squared off. Oops. Okay, so I don't know if you see what I'm doing and how I'm working this up. 2. Come on, you little dickens. Get in there. There we go. There's 3. And there's 4. Okay. I got a blue piece. I'll put that on the top here. It's a little mismatched on colors, but I think it'll work. And once I get this on the back side, so I'm dropping pieces again. See, and quite often I notice when I'm doing this, I'm building or whatever, and I don't know why. I'm doing it on the camera, on film, on camera. Who uses film anymore? There. So now we have a 4 launcher. So that's my idea. Now I need to have something so I can sit it in here and have it pivot. So that's my next trick. And unfortunately I was trying to look for a spinner piece, but I couldn't find any of those offhand. I know I've got a couple of them. And that's probably in my big storage tote full of stuff. But at the moment I don't know where that is. So what I'll have to do is I will have to figure something else out. Let's see here. And I will have something. I just don't know exactly how I'm working this. So I'm trying to work all this out. And the other part is I'm kind of a little short on some of the Technic pieces that I usually have available, and that's my own kind of fault here. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I've put some of this stuff, because as I've been building and I've been moving things around, I'm constantly adjusting where everything is. So I keep losing things on myself, and then I keep wondering, where in the dickens did I go with them? Oh, those are troopers I gotta put together. Oh, I just found some other parts. In my never-ending quest of hiding stuff on myself. Alright, so those aren't the pieces I'm looking for. Although I found some troopers I was looking for, so that might be something else to look at it on a different day. Okay, so sugars. So I was really hoping to have this kind of done, because I want this done because this is going to be the main platform for Kelvin and the G.I. Joes. And I really want to have this kind of done here. That's not going to work. Actually, let me see what pieces we have here as I have a seat. See, I bought a bunch of Technic pieces in bulk so I could try and do some of these things, and then now I'm sitting here trying to figure out where I put things. And this is just small. These are small bins that I have that I'm kind of rummaging through. Just trying to find these parts as I go rattle here, trying to figure out exactly what I've got, what I can work with, what I should be working with. Sugar shoots. Okay, so whoops. See, and there's just one bin of this is my bigger bin I've been using lately, but this is a small bin, so I have a big bin. That might work. That might work a little bit here, but then I'm gonna need something else, I believe. So I have to make a corner, so that's where things kind of come into an interesting, because I want it to be able to rotate. That's the big trick. We want it to rotate. So as I'm trying to figure this out, I'm trying to make sure whatever I grab, whatever I use, want some big tires? I don't know why I've got those in there yet. I should have put those in my big bin because I don't think I need those tires. Unless I was trying to... These were originally for space. This was for some of the old space sets. I couldn't tell you what it was for anymore. But I'm trying to work through this. And alright. Thought I'd have this a little bit better worked out than I currently am. Alright, I think I've got something here. I think. So let's see how this works. Alright, I have that. I had those white pieces. Where did I put the white pieces now? See? And I said I hide stuff on myself all the time. Alright, now I got them. Alright. So this is cheap and dirty. I'm kind of cheating in a way, I guess. So what I'm going to do is, this is nothing more than a kind of hinge block. And then now this is a Technic piece, so I'm going to put that on there. And I wanted these so I can try and sandwich that on there so it's on there pretty good, or at least better. And then we're going to put this right there. So now I have Technic there. Now I can have it angled. Not the best, but it's something. There. So now we got a missile launcher. We do have some cannons. I've got a couple possible Joes up here. And now I've got to figure out, what am I going to put Kelvin into? Great, now where did I put Kelvin? I had Kelvin over here the other day when I was looking. I don't know where I put him, but I know I've got him. So I just did the Kelvin comic. So I will find Kelvin, and then we have to find something to put him in. But at the moment, this is going to be our battle platform, and we will have some sort of, whether it's our Skyhawk or whatever we're going to have there, we're going to have something here. That way we have some other way of getting on and off besides having a boat. I do have some hovercraft, and hopefully I can grab one real quick. The fear is I think I put it away. Yeah, it looks like I put them away. I do have a couple hovercraft. I got some smaller ones that I thought I would do something with. But in the meantime, and this is a police one, and of course, like everything else in my basement here, it's dusty. So I do have this one. So I do have a police one. It's got the two fan blades. This is a little closer to what the whale was. So for nothing else, I could always use this. And my thought is, I'm going to have G.I. Joe somewhat part of like the police force. They are going to be like part police, part military. More on a military because they're dealing with terrorism, with the Cobra, and so on and so forth, as everyone comes up with their own iteration of what it should or should not be. So my thought is, if I have it somewhat like a police force, so it can borrow stuff from the police, or it can be housed in the police, but it's also got its own stuff, and it's also part of the military. So I don't know how you really work all that out. But that's kind of where I'm trying to aim for. Things I'm trying to work out here. So we will borrow police things or fire units or whatever, a little less than the fire units. And Cobra is always going to be trying to hide in the weeds. So they will borrow, or they will have vehicles that'll blend in. That's what I'm trying to go with their stuff. Stuff that looks like a common everyday thing that they kind of pop up out of nowhere and then try to do whatever they're going to do. So that's my idea. This is what I'm working with. I think we have this pretty well set now because we do have a computer. I do have some boxes, like treasure boxes and stuff like that, so I can use that as cargo boxes. And I'll start getting some of those in here, and we will start working on this. This is going to be a part of our Monday cartoon. So I'm thinking that this is going to be, because I can have a set here and I can have them operate out of here and everything else. We have some beds and all that. So this will be our home base. We can have some fun with this. We can have some silliness. Maybe they'll do some fishing or something like that too. Like I said, I still want to have some silliness and all that, and as well as trying to get everything else. But we're already getting closer to 30 minutes, a little bit longer than I was intending. I appreciate everybody that hung around and watched this long. As always, I really appreciate everybody that stops by and watches. I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep bricking.